What is going on, guys? My name is Sena and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make this video to talk to you guys about something that is really holding back a lot of players from improving. In this video, I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth on how to take an aim duel from start to finish and your decision making and thought process to win that duel. Right before we jump into the video though, guys, we're super close to 98,000 subscribers and we are so close to hitting that 100k mark. So make sure you guys go down and hit that subscribe button and make sure you like the video if you do enjoy it or find it useful. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. The first and one of the most important steps in taking a good aim duel is to make sure that you have a plan in your mind and to make sure that you are pre-aiming the angle that you want to swing. What I mean by have a plan is have a reason to peek the angle that you're peeking. Every single thing you do in a match should have a rhyme and reason to it. This is something that low elo players struggle with a lot, is that they just peek something just to peek it and actually have no plan for the round or any pathing in mind. Let's create a little scenario here, and let's say you're playing a ranked game on Breeze and your team wants to go B. Most players will all just group up 5-man main and just run out like a bunch of headless chickens and all get mowed down. Even if you have a drone going out, if you have smokes down, if you have darts going out, that's all great, but realistically there's no plan other than that. You're just running into sight, hoping to see someone and hoping to win that aim duel. You're basically just praying at that point. When I'm attacking B on Breeze, I really like to go and take control of elbow and split the site through tunnel so that the people on site feel trapped and in a crossfire. So oftentimes at the start of the round, I'll push up elbow and look to take an aim duel either nest or in tunnel, looking to secure that space. My plan is I need to kill someone here so that I can take control of this space so that I can help my team have more pressure on site. This might sound obvious to a lot of you, but I promise you, if you record your games and look back on it, you'll see that you're taking a lot of mindless duels without really thinking about it. And the second part of this step is to make sure that you are always pre-aiming the angle that you want to peek. This comes with crosshair placement and practicing your fundamentals. What pre-aiming is putting your crosshair on the wall before you peek so that when you peek, you'll have to adjust your crosshair the least and use the least raw aim to hit that headshot. This is a skill that takes a long time to build, but it's something that all of the best players have. So in short, you want to make sure that you not only have a plan for the duel that you're about to take, but what you're going to be doing after it and what taking that duel will accomplish for you and your team. The second step in taking a good aim duel is to figure out whether it's appropriate to jiggle peek or to wide swing, and to make sure that you are only peeking using A and D and not with W. This is another tricky part about taking aim duels, is a lot of the time it's not really apparent whether it's appropriate to jiggle peek or to wide swing, and it is heavily reliant on the situation that you're in. Typically, I would only advise wide swinging if you know that you are only fighting one person, or if you're someone like Reyna, Chamber, or Jett that can get out very quickly after getting one pick. If you are playing Chamber, Reyna, or Jett, you can do a lot more risky things with these peaks because of how quickly you can get out of the situation. In this guide, I'm focusing on agents that don't have this luxury and ones that you need to be more careful with how you peek. I also think that the further away the enemy is from you, the more appropriate it is to wide swing. If the enemy that you're gonna fight is closer to you and close behind the wall, I think that jiggle peeking or close peeking is a lot better. This concept mainly comes down to game sense and repetition. The more aim duels you get in, the more experience you have, you'll see what works and what doesn't work, and it's really hard to explain in a one-size-fits-all fashion. Peeking off your teammates and off of their flashes is also really important. A lot of teamwork goes into this as well. And make sure that you're peeking only using A and D. I've talked about this in multiple videos, but you are a much easier target to hit when you're holding W while you're peeking. The skill of being able to assess a situation and have this kind of awareness is a skill that every player needs to learn if you want to improve. Moving on from this, let's talk about the next step, which is to make sure that you are isolating your 1v1s. The reason why I don't advise you guys to wide swing unless you know that you are fighting one person is because you are exposing yourself yourself to many different angles. This is the exact opposite of isolating 1v1s and will get you killed more times than it'll pay off. To isolate 1v1s more effectively, I like to do this method, which is slicing the pie. You guys have probably heard about this analogy at some point or another, but it's basically where you peek each angle one at a time that the enemies could be posted up on. If I'm peeking elbow on breeze, I'm checking mid, and then I'm moving over and clearing nest, clearing left side nest, and then clearing tunnel and walking up with my team. Being able to effectively isolate a 1v1 will grant you so many free kills. If you're always peeking more than one person, it's going to be really hard for you to consistently frag. So make sure you guys are always paying attention to where you're exposed to and how many angles there could be potentially people posted up at to kill you. Moving on from this, let's talk about the next fundamental, which is to make sure that you are peeking off of the wall. All of the OGs to this channel will know that I love talking about this, and this is a fundamental that will greatly increase your peeker's advantage. I'll put a diagram on screen now of how peeker's advantage works in Valorant, and it's basically the closer you are to the wall, the easier it will be for the other person to see you. Making sure that when you're taking a duel, you are off the wall will make it so that they have less time to react to your peek, in turn giving you the most peeker's advantage and the easiest duel to win. This is basically like second nature to me, and I don't really have to think about this much anymore, but a lot of new players still need to learn how to peek properly like this. I see a lot of people peek with their face pressed up against a wall, and a lot of the times this will get you killed. This is why I don't advise you guys to camp in little cubbies that are easy to clear and play more of an off-angle position so that the enemies won't have you pre-aimed in their crosshair. It's super important that you envision what the enemy will see and where they might have their crosshair placed so that you can make that shot the hardest for them to hit, and I'm always doing this whenever I'm taking a duel. Moving on, let's talk about the next step, which is to make sure that you are keeping that man advantage after you get the pick and you're not overheating or over peeking. Let's say you swing out and hit a really nice shot on someone. Your confidence is going to be through the roof and you're just going to be going and running around waiting to take the next duel. It's important to make sure that you keep a clear head and don't let kills get to you. You getting that pick is huge because now if your teammates play trades with you, you will win the round guaranteed. A lot of players have a bad habit of over peeking and kind of overheating, which is a concept that I talked about in my last video. The first pick in a game is arguably the most important one, so make sure that if your team gets it, you guys keep that advantage to win the round. And the final point that I want to talk to you guys about in this video is to make sure that you guys are playing in a tradable spot. If you are across the map from your team and you take an aim duel and you die, there will be no one there to trade the kill and you'll just basically be putting your team at a disadvantage. Make sure that you're buddy-buddied with someone in a tradable spot is super important because even if you die, your teammate can get the trade and have a higher chance of winning you guys the round. Now, I'm not saying that you guys should be hugging your team the whole round. I think that going out and lurking or playing far from your team is super important and I'd actually encourage it. But the thing is if you are lurking, your main goal is to catch people rotating, not taking duels main or taking duels in common angles. This is why I love lurking so much on agents like Chamber because I've kind of mastered the pathing and rotates that people take on most maps, and it's really nice to catch people off guard when they don't expect there to be someone when the whole team is hitting the other site. This is a really easy way to secure man advantage and a really important part in becoming a better player if you are playing an agent that can lurk. And I think that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about in this video. In this video, I broke down step by step the entire process of taking a good aim duel and what you should be thinking about in your next games. Just to quickly recap what I talked about in this video, make sure that you guys have a plan and you are pre-aiming the angle that you want to take a duel at. After you've done this, it's super important to be able to assess the situation and figure out whether it'd be more appropriate to jiggle peek or to wide swing an angle. It's also important to make sure that you guys are peeking only using A and D and not holding W while you peek. Make sure you guys are trying to isolate a 1v1 and not peeking multiple people or exposing yourself to multiple angles. It's also super important to peek off of the wall to grant yourself the biggest peeker's advantage possible. Once you get the pick, it's super important to keep that man advantage and not overheat and throw that advantage that you have given your team. And lastly, make sure that you are playing in a spot slot that is easily tradable, so you're not dying for free and throwing that main advantage for your team. And one more thing I want to add is to make sure that you guys are being confident. In a game like Valorant, confidence is key, and the mental aspect is 50% of the game. Make sure that you are calm, collected, relaxed, but also confident, and you will see improvement, I promise. Anyways, guys, if you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, don't forget to go down and drop a like below and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I have a community Discord server linked down in the description if you guys want to go join that. We have a super chill community and we'd love to have you. We're getting super close to 100K, so make sure you guys go smash that subscribe button so we can hit that huge goal. Thank you for taking the time out of your day or night to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Love me, but you hate me. Baby, can you please pick one? I don't wanna fight no more. It's like I'm mad, no we fuck, and I'll kick you out the door. Act like I'm mad, you're the best I ever had. Cause I create how you feel, and I'm still got attached. It's just so hard